Hi, Winona. It's Mrs. Brown here to read more of A Whole New Ball Game. We are on Chapter 39, Shaking Things Up. Back on Friday, we ended the week in the AMP. Today, we started the week in the AMP. We interrupt room 208 for a special bulletin, Mr. Acevedo said. He stood with a leg on the front bench and his iPad on his knee. I need to make a couple changes to the project. I have to shake things up a little bit. I don't understand, Piper said. That's because I haven't explained it yet, Piper. This week, you and your partner will be writing a persuasive essay. It's an additional writing assignment, a short one. You'll need to follow a particular format, he paused. Hopefully, this will please some of your parents. He nodded to Avery, whose hand was up. Can I say something? She said. Is it about this writing assignment? Yes and no. Mr. Acevedo looked at her sideways. Then I'll say maybe. I'm not the only one who thinks this, she said. Can I use the T word? If you must. Mr. Acevedo placed the iPad on the bench. I checked Red. He sat at the end of the second row next to Mr. Goldberg, who'd joined us again, even though we weren't having T3. Red was already hunched forward and pinky thumbing his legs. What's on your mind, Miss Goodman? Mr. Acevedo said, stepping to the front of the AMP. We do test prep every day in math. You do. The third and fourth graders do test prep every day in ELA. They do. She rolled her eyes. The fifth graders at all the other schools do test prep. How are we going to do well on the test if we don't know how to take them? We're learning, Mr. Acevedo toed the sand with a sneaker. We're not learning the questions on the test. We're learning, he said. We're learning more than just the answers to some questions on a test. We're learning. He stopped mid-sentence and pulled back his hair. Show of hands. How many of you feel the same way as Miss Goodman? Be honest. A few hands went up. Then a few more. And a few more. Then mine. We're learning, Mr. Acevedo said. He drew a circle in the air with his finger. But we're learning in a way that doesn't stifle creativity. And if you don't know what stifle means, look it up. I didn't know what stifle meant, but from the sound of it, I didn't want it happening to me. Down the row, Red swayed from side to side. I understand I need to make adjustments, Mr. Acevedo said, kicking the sand. Your parents have made that perfectly clear. But I'm not turning room 208 into a test prep mill, no matter how much noise anyone makes. I guarantee that. It was the first time I'd ever heard Mr. Acevedo speak with an edge. I checked Red again, hunched over, swaying, and wearing his old man face. We learn best when we're having fun, Mr. Acevedo said, keeping the tone. We learn best when we're doing. That's how we learn how to think, learn how to answer specific questions for a test. That's not learning. I don't know what that is. Mr. Acevedo pulled back his hair again and looked around. He made eye contact with a few of us. When you teach to a test, he said, softening his words, you program the test taker to respond to a question in a narrow way. When you teach a real skill, when you learn a real skill, the person learning the skill is able to apply that skill in all different contexts. He stepped to Avery. Did that answer your question, Miss Goodman? Whatever, she said. For what it's worth, he said, tapping her armrest. That was a healthy interruption. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, let's get back to where we were, the new persuasive essay. That's the first change to the project. The second change takes place in 2 weeks. Each group will now be presenting to the class. We're going to have oral present. No! Red shouted. He stood up and shook his head violently. No, I can't. It's too much. It's too much. He covered his head with his arms. No! He took off. Chapter 40. I survived. I tore out of the playground and headed for the gym door where Red ran into the school. I darted across the gym and through the cafeteria, but there was no sign of him. I charged down the main hall. Slow down, Mr. Irving, Miss Walden called from her desk by the announcement monitor. Did Red come by? I asked, speed walking up. Is everything all right? She pointed down the K1 hallway. He just went upstairs. I bolted past without answering and headed for the staircase. I pulled open the door, 2 at a time the steps, and then bounded into the second floor hall. No Red. I headed straight for room 208. That's where I found him. He stood by the back table in front of Brian's seat. He had taken down the silver toolbox with the I Survived books from atop the cubbies. I survived the attacks of September 11th, 2001, he said, removing the book from the toolbox and putting it on the desk. He then lifted out a second book. I survived the Nazi invasion, 1944. He placed it on top of the first. Red, I walked up. Red. I survived Hurricane Katrina, 2005. He kept stacking books. I survived the Battle of Gettysburg, 1863. Red, I said again. I moved next to him. I survived the Japanese tsunami, 2011. Red, what's up? I can't, he said without looking up. I can't. It's too much, too much. I survived the San Francisco earthquake, 1906. What is? I placed my hand on his back. What's too much? It's too much. He shook his head faster. It's too much. I can't. I can't get up in front of the class. It's too much. Too much. I let out a puff. I'm sure, Red, Mr. Acevedo's cool. He won't make you get... Mr. Acevedo and Miss Yvonne rushed in. I survived the sinking of the Titanic, 1912, Red continued. I survived the bombing of Pearl Harbor, 1941. Honey, what's wrong? Miss Yvonne asked. She stepped up to Red like only she could. It's too much, he said, squinching his face. He started restacking the books. I survived the bombing of Pearl Harbor, 1941. I survived the San Francisco earthquake, 1906. Honey, look at me, Miss Yvonne said softly. She placed a hand on the table next to the books. Everything's okay. Look at me. I survived the Japanese tsunami, 2011. He slowly looked up. Honey, everything's okay. I want you to come with me. I checked Mr. Acevedo. He stood off to the side with his hands gripping his hair. Come with me to my office, okay? Miss Yvonne placed her hand on the stack of books. Come with me. Am I kicked off Clifton United? Red asked, still shaking his head and squinting. Am I kicked off Clinton United? Am I kicked off Clinton United? Honey, no, of course not, she answered. Am I kicked off Clifton United? No one's kicking you off anything, Red. Mr. Acevedo still held his hair. Every team needs a Blake Daniels, remember? You hear that, Red? I touched his back again. We need you on Clifton United. You're our free throw shooting machine. I can't get up in front of the class, Red said. I can't get up in front of the class. Please don't kick me off the team. No one's making you get up in front of the class, Red. Miss Yvonne glanced at Mr. Acevedo again. No one's making you do anything you don't want to, he said. I guarantee it. Ooh, those were heavy chapters. Tomorrow we will read chapter 41, the H word. I hope you enjoyed those 2 chapters. It's hard to stop now. I want to know what happens next and if Red's going to be okay. So I hope you enjoyed those, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Winona.